Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to show you my round 2 game from the Parma Chess Club on my breakthrough night. Now, this game was pretty challenging, actually. I was playing a pretty strong kid named Scotty, and love this kid, by the way. I've known him for a long time, and it's really nice to see him flourishing in chess. I mean, he's quite strong these days, and I know he's even like beat some masters, and so he is not an easy customer at all. And he played the move c4 to start the game. So going into an English, and we've had various games in this line. So I play e5 against this. I pretty much always do. Maybe I should start playing something else, but after knight to c3, I like this line called the Kramnik-Shirov counterattack. And I have looked at some of Shirov's games in this line. So I have some ideas, but not a lot. So I really am threatening to, not threatening really, but I intend to take the knight and put my pawns on dark squares. That's part of my idea. And also when you take this knight, you're looking for more center control over the e4 and the d5 squares. So that's part of the idea behind this. Now, he played a3, which I thought was dubious. These marks are my own, by the way. I put them in. I analyzed this game. So in previous games, he actually played knight to f3. And I went ahead and took this. He took towards the center. And yeah, in this position, I think I went d6. And he would go d4, and then I would push this pawn, and he would play knight to d2. And we got a position like this in the first game, and possibly the second game that we played in this line. And I remember my coach, Ben Oshami, was telling me to possibly play this e3 move. Maybe not right here, but yeah, it's kind of an interesting line. I would play like f5, and the games would continue from there. Both games were a little crazy. But instead of that, we have a3 this game, which, in my opinion, the reason I call it dubious is because, look, I'm planning on taking. Like, you already know that, too. So, like, I don't know what a3 does. It's not exactly the best tempo ever, right? So I take, and he takes back. So I play d6. So it's like the other game, except the knight's not an f3, which maybe means I can't play e4 with tempo. So maybe that was part of his idea. So he goes d4, and here I just play knight to f6. Or I'm sorry, knight to c6. Now, I really like to, yeah, the computer gave this dubious move, the dubious mark. During the game, I thought this is like a testing way to play. I mean, he's attacking my center, and if I take back, he's going to take, and I won't be able to castle anymore. But, when you look at that line, like, let's say I just go knight to f6 and allow this. Yeah, I was analyzing. This endgame is actually nice for black. We are the ones with a pawn in the center. We are the ones that don't have double isolated pawns. Okay, white has 2 bishops, but if I ask the computer now what it thinks, it says -1 for black. So apparently this is, wow, I mean, it's still hard for me to believe it's -1 for black, but apparently it is. It must be the way we must have nice coordination here or something. I mean, we can't attack this immediately. That's going to happen. So if they go knight to f3, we probably go knight c6. And then if they play a natural move, let's say they pin our knight or something. I don't know how good that is, but yeah, bishop e6, we just attack this right away. Okay. So all of that is to say why that's one element of this move d4 is the fact that I don't have to worry about him taking. So I could go knight to f6. Now, if I go knight to f6, here's something I would think about. What else could he do, right? Like, he could just do something else. Well, if he goes knight to f3, I'm guessing we go e4. Yeah, we do. So he can't play knight to f3. So that's another element in the position, right? Like we don't have to worry about this. And he can't really play knight f3. So everything's kind of just working out for black. That means that d4, it's just a little too early, you know. Instead of that, he really should play e3 and prepare the move. That's what the computer wants. Okay, I agree with that too. Now let's get back to the game, because after d6, d4, I played knight to c6. It's a provocative move, you know. I'm saying, you know, go ahead and push your d-pawn. You can have the space, because my idea with this move is knight to a5. There's no b-pawn. The b-pawn is now a c-pawn. So my knight is actually safer on a5, and kind of annoying, right? I'm targeting a weakness. I'm targeting this square. I can play b6. I can play bishop a6 and just start hammering away on that weak c4 pawn. So that's part of the idea. I do this in blitz. I honestly don't know if this is a good plan or not. But I do it so much in blitz, I'm like, I'll just do it. So knight to c6, and he goes e4. I mean, that surprised me. I'm like, wow, Scotty's really taking the center here. Like, I hope I'm not messing up. So, yeah, he is building a big center, but I have to admit, it seems like he's overextending a little bit. I think he just didn't want to see knight to f3 and e4. I don't think he wanted to see this. So he played e4 first. Now I'm never playing e4, right? Never say never, but and taking this just seems like a huge mistake. Why would I build like undouble his pawns and build him a nice center? So e4 is interesting. It just seems like he might get overextended here. So now I can continue my development. So I play knight g to e7. Now, when I analyzed with Michael Jolson, he said he didn't like this move so much, but my intention is to castle kingside as soon as possible and to play the move f5. Here's the thing, like, I'm sort of playing Hypermodern a little bit, right? Like, not that I want to, but I kind of am, because he's got a big center here, and I really can't just let him do this, right? I got to have some sort of plan to break down that center. So I thought f5 is the way to do it. Another way might be d5. Another way might be b5. I feel like d5 is hard to get going. I don't see that. And b5 is awkward. I don't know. I also would undouble his pawns. So I thought f5 is definitely the way to go. And this is indeed the usual plan I go for. Now, if I recall, the computer wants knight to f6. Oh, it likes both of them, actually. And it also likes f5 immediately. Wow. I have to admit, I mean, a move like this, I would be afraid to play. I mean, okay, now we're threatening the pawn. So I like that. If he takes, I think we can be pretty happy with this. That should be fine. Yeah, and now still knight f3 could be met by e4. So we kind of renewed the threat. Computer doesn't even want that. It says knight f3, and I should just play knight to f6. Interesting. And then it says if bishop e2. Okay, I want to play bishop e3. If bishop e3, probably we take that. We do. And I do feel like black has no problems here. Now we've taken the two bishops. We have enough center control. Excuse me. We have enough center control. And he's got double pawns we can work on. Yeah, I just feel like we have no problems here. Computer still likes black. It says minus 0.8. I mean, probably because we're... It's probably because of the pawn structure, honestly. I think the black pawn structure is just really nice. It's a really nice pawn structure. So, okay. That's my guess. So knight g to e7 by me and f4 by Scotty. So he is like, he's just trying to crush me, I guess. I mean, I was a little nervous for sure. Like, that's a big center. But I play this way sometimes, and excuse me, the problem with the big center like this, especially so early, is that you are creating weaknesses when you do this. So like when you play, especially when you play f4, you weaken this diagonal towards the king, you weaken this square, you weaken this square, you weaken all these squares, because now this pawn can never go backwards. Same goes with all these pawns. So it looks like a scary center, but we should look for opportunities to break it down and also use the weak squares that have been left behind. So, okay, I take that because, all right, I know it makes my center a little worse, but I felt like this pawn might even be weak. He's definitely not ready to go e5 anytime soon. So I take this, and he just simply takes back. I'm sure that was his idea. And now I castle. Okay. And I thought, yes, he has a really big center, but I was panicky, and I'm like, I need to get my king safe, like, now. So this is what I did. And I thought, you know, I'm a little bit worse here. That was my assessment. Now let's ask the engine, because, yeah, the engine says it's equal, and it even likes black a tiny bit. Minus 0.1, a microscopic advantage for black. If they play bishop d3, if they don't, the computer just straight up likes black. So, yeah, I don't understand chess that well, apparently. It must be the lead in development, the fact that black has no real problems here, except for the center. So I think where I lack some understanding is in my counterattacking chances against the center. I do understand that even though I have this bishop not developed, it is wide open. I mean, it's basically developed. So I don't have any problems to solve here except for the center. And again, I'm looking to create, you know, horsey go nay-nay in the event of d5, and I don't even think white has time for that kind of stuff. I mean, look at their king side. Got to develop your pieces, right? So white is quite behind in development. So this center could collapse. So let's continue with the game. He goes knight to f3, makes sense. Wow, computer, I think computer called this dubious. But why? Let's try to figure it out. Why would knight f3 be dubious? So am I doing something in this position, or? I mean, black is coordinated. So are we going to go f5? Because if we do go f5, to try and open up the position a bit, that king is in the center. So knight to f3 helps, but it's like white's so behind already. So let's just say we go f5, because I don't know what else. That does, you know, attack that with tempo. We're just threatening to win that center pawn right away and have a pawn on e4. That would be not desirable for white. Then black's definitely better. It would also open the f file. So yeah, I can see problems for white. That's why this f5 is probably it. I don't know what they should do. I mean, if they take it, now we improve our knight, I would think. I mean, we could even take with a rook here. Maybe we could, because look, it's another tempo. Another tempo sounds good, but I don't want to take with a rook. I want to take with a knight, because I want to possibly use this e file. If they block, maybe we double on it, and then it's going to be really hard to castle because we win it. So I'm seeing lots of problems for white here. So let's see what the computer line is. I like to learn some things, you know. It says queen e8 or f5 or knight g6. Knight g6 also makes sense. Oh, Michael Jolson said this move. He said knight g6 and bishop g3 and then f5. Computer says this is equal. After takes, I mean, same thing, right? I would take this way. I guess they're about to castle now. Knight g6 is also just a little passive, right? Like, I want to play f5 and recapture, possibly with the knight. Maybe. Maybe not, though. So after f5, I didn't play this in the game, but I want to know why, because, you know, next time I get a position like this, I want to do that. I don't know what I was scared of. I like this move now. I think I was scared of this. But this just feels like it weakens that white center. So I can't really, Oh, you know what? We could play knight g6 right now. That would attack the bishop and pile on that. We also have rook e8 coming. Queen e7. We have a lot of stuff coming here. So there's no time for d5, I don't think. Yeah, I really don't think there's any d5 because don't we just take here? And now they would have to take with the bishop or they're going to lose it. And they're going to get pinned, right? I mean, I don't even have to pin. Oh, I see computer wants queen h4 check. Throw this in if g3. Go here probably. Win the rook. So you can't do g3. So now that king's going for a walk and stuff like this. Yeah, and then probably we just take this. Okay, I think everyone agrees black looks really good here. Black's probably like winning. All right, so I think I learned enough from that part. So let's continue with the game. After knight to f3, I thought about f5, but I was afraid of stuff. I don't know what I was afraid of there. I don't think I will be anymore. And I played here. So this was a mistake because, oh, yeah, there's a lot of moves that just create an advantage for black. Queen e8's another one. f5, like we said, and knight g6. It's saying all these moves are better than what I played. I played a very, routine move, right? I just call this routine because I'm just developing my bishop, but my bishop's actually fine. Like, it's already good. Like, I don't have to commit it so quickly. So I pin the knight, though. And he does play h3. Let me turn that computer off. Okay. And bishop h5 is what I played. And he played bishop d3. Yeah, because he understands that the bishop on e2 would be more passive. And why is it doing that? And once he castles, the rook will defend the knight, so he won't have to worry about stuff. But the way the game goes, I don't know. So here I play a move. I play knight to g6. Dubious. Okay, let's try and find a better move. We're trying to learn here. This is like my actual, analysis. Okay. I remember why I played this move. My idea was knight g6. And then probably knight h4. I thought was very interesting. Attacking the pin knight. It's a horsey go nay nay variation. Probably f5 is still good. I wonder if it is. Let's just look at it for a second. Like, if f5 and they take it, I mean, I can do this. They can try the pawn fork, but it just feels like, oh, I must have been looking at this earlier because I highlighted the bishop, which is now unprotected. So now we have discoveries. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, actually. What would I play here? It's a good question. I'm not sure. I mean, do we just check that king? Like, maybe we just check that king. Definitely looks a little annoying. I don't know. Let's just play this. What do they do? I was thinking blocking seems insane. Maybe they can get away with it though, right? Maybe. I keep wanting to play this and just do discovery. I think I'd probably take care. I mean, let's just look at this, right? Why not? Now, we have a pretty big threat on the knight. So if they take this, you know, we get to take that with check. And I don't know. I don't like their position. We're also on this. So I don't think that's any good. Oops. Oh, man, of course I would do that. Yeah, so f5 takes, we're looking at this variation with the pawn fork, and I was thinking check here. If they block, we possibly have this move. If they take it, let's say they do this to defend the bishop. Then we can attack this. If they take this bishop, that's checkmate. So they have to, you know, defend checkmate. It's, yeah, I just feel like they're like going to lose. How do you survive this? So let's ask the engine now what it says. Oh my gosh, it says white's better. Queen h4 check for black, king d1, and white survives. Wow. I'm not good at assessing positions like this, where there's a defense, and it really just comes down to does the defense hold or not. But apparently, this is going to hold. Like it wants to. This is the best attack by the computer, and then king d1. And our bishop's attacked still. I don't know. I still don't believe this. I mean, now we're threatening this and stuff. I think that most humans would collapse in this position as white. I don't care what the computer says there. It looks hard to play. In a rapid game, I would definitely take black anyway. So anyway, so was f5 the actual move the computer wants? Let's find out. Yep, it does want f5. And it says after takes, we do take with a knight. Now after this, it says we go knight h4. Oh, and if they take our knight, wait, if they take our knight, we take with check. Oh, I saw this during the game. Why didn't I see it during analysis? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so, and if they take our bishop, I mean, they're just opening up their king side and wrecking their pawns more, and this can't be good, right? I just don't really believe this. We can even take the bishop like we were talking about. Yeah, this is gonna be a disaster, I think. Let's say they go here. I would definitely take with check. And then king d2, I guess. I don't know. After king d2, they're in trouble, it feels. I might just bring another rook in. Could do this, but they run away. I don't know. Will they block? Could they possibly block it? So what if we just go here? Now we are threatening that. And then they could defend. Ooh. And then what about queen g5? It's not looking too good. Yeah, I don't know. I think I could win this position. Okay, so it turns out that my move, oops, here we go, here's position. So it turns out my move, knight g6, I mean, yeah, it wasn't that great. And there's actually a reason for that. If he had played bishop g3, I see a computer likes this move, which takes away the squares from this knight, making him a bit passive. And making this bishop vulnerable, by the way. I can't retreat to g6. That was the right way for white to play and get an advantage. It just, because it stops my counterplay. But instead, after knight g6, he played bishop e3, which is dubious because now I get this move knight to h4. Now, this looked weird to me. I don't usually play this way, but it just, I saw this idea and it looked cool. I'm threatening the pawn with check. I'm threatening the knight. And what's funny about that is he will have to recapture with a pawn, right? Even if he castles now, which I think he did, I can take this now and he'll have to capture with a pawn. And I thought that was interesting. Now, he could try to use the G file against me and stuff, but I was like, look, I mean, I can attack that pawn. I can leave my knight on h4. I thought that this was decent, and computer agrees. So, okay, I guess the question is, though, what do we want? Do we want to keep a knight or a bishop? Because we got to give up one and we keep the other one. I decided to keep my knight. So after takes, I liked my knight here. I mean, it covers that square. So, you know, get rid of that bishop and we just have like this check and the queen comes in. So I was looking at ideas like that, but after this, now I go f5. Oh, wait, no, I don't. I didn't play f5. I played queen d7, little tickle. Just tickle him just a little bit. King h2, I believe, yes, and now f5. Okay, yeah, because I was planning this pawn break. I was just trying to time it right. Turns out I played it a little late compared to when I could have, right? I could have played this much sooner. And now he played the best move, bishop to g5. And I just missed this move. I don't know why, but it just attacks my knight, and it's kind of annoying. It's definitely annoying. So I threw in this intermezzo, f takes e4, attacking the bishop. I thought if he wants to play this position, I think I'm pretty good with that. I think I like it. I mean, look at the pawns I'm playing against here. So it also breaks down the center. That's our goal, right? So I played this and he simply took back. And he took with a bishop, which I think was correct. The problem is that he's got this pawn protected now. So it's not so easy to find a spot for my knight. Now, I played knight g6, but I should have played knight to f5. Yeah, I don't know what I was afraid of here. I thought if takes... Yeah, what was I afraid of here? I just like this. I was probably not afraid of them taking it. So what was I afraid of? Maybe I was afraid of rook g1 or something. I don't think I need to be, though. Okay, I don't know what I was afraid of. Maybe I just didn't see this move. It's possible I just didn't see it, but I went here. Yeah, and you know what's funny is that this is why I played it, what he played in the game. Now, he should not have done this, turns out. I just didn't realize. I knew he would take it. Like, to me, it seems like you should take it, but I wanted to get rid of his two bishops because they are quite active and they're very near my king as well, and I see problems. There's open g file, the queen can come to d3 and other rook. Like, I don't want to get checkmated. So I played knight g6 hoping that he would take this. And I was willing to accept these double pawns, which are not great. But at least he doesn't have both those crazy bishops anymore, right? So then he goes queen d3, little tickle. And I go queen to f7. Now another move I could have played is queen to f5. But do we like this endgame or not? That is the question. Do we want this endgame? Probably do. I don't know. I'm going to see what the engine says about this. Oh, wow. It likes queen f7 better. You know, my intuition is always to play more actively and not go into the endgame. So I probably, you know, I didn't even think about queen f5 too hard. I'm like, open king, keep queens on. It's very simple for me. Yeah, my king's a little vulnerable too, but, you know, not as vulnerable as that one, I thought. So now I go rook. Oh, actually, it's his turn. He goes rook a to b1. Another little tickle. But, okay. I think rook a to b1 is not such a good move, and I'm going to tell you why. The black position is looking pretty good. I've got this like piled up on this weakness here. I know they'll eventually push here and solidify this awesome bishop. That bishop is quite awesome. Okay, we have weak pawns over here, but the real problem in the black position is what? If you want to pause your video and tell me, what is the problem I need to solve here? Go ahead and do so now. Yeah, the problem is this knight. The problem is this knight, right? He's not in the game, and it's not easy for him to get in the game. I mean, probably I can try this, but I don't know. I mean, if I go here, you know, I'm hoping he'll take. That would be great. He's not going to take. He'll probably do this. I mean, that's going to be bad. Then our knight can't go anywhere. So I think knight e8 is just maybe not a good move. I could be wrong, though, because of the plan that I came up with. My plan was this. What I'd really love to do is provoke d5. Okay, I want to provoke d5. I thought one way I could do that is play knight a5. This is going to happen, by the way. Attack the pawn, right? And then d5 is nice because it gains more space and it protects, blocks my attack. But my real plan is knight e5, b6, knight b7, and after d5, I do have the c5 square for my knight. Then I could even do this and get the e5 square. The knight is then active and our problem is solved. So part of the reason I don't like rook a to b1 is that he's sort of like helping me with my plan. It's like, oh no, how do I defend my pawn? Well, I either have to play b6 or I have to play knight a5. After b6, I was going to say maybe he could play queen here. It does come with tempo, you know. But I don't know that that's such a good move. I have rooks coming in. I could play here. So I would play knight a5 and then rook here. But all right, in the game, I play knight to a5. And now he's got a problem, right? That gave me the initiative. So he goes d5. Okay? And now I go b6. Here's my plan. You can see my analysis from earlier. And now he just plays here. So he spent a tempo on a move that helped me solve my problem with my knight. So that's why I think that was incorrect. Yeah, so, wow, now the computer's giving a winning move for, or a good move for black that I would never consider. But it makes so much sense. Oh, I do like it. It's the move queen to f5. I didn't consider this, you know? Like, I used to trade queens way too easily, like back in the day. And now it's like, I'm sort of on the other end of the spectrum. I just don't want to trade queens when a king's like this. But this is a decoy. We want to have them take because it's going to take the defender off of that square. And it's kind of forced because we're also attacking the bishop, right? So what do? They pretty much got to take. And then we don't take with a pawn. We don't care about undoubling our pawns. We want to double on this file and attack this weakness. By the way, it comes with tempo. So probably h4 would be the move. But now I get to win the pawn. And that also solves our problem with our knight. Now our knight's active and he had lunch. So, okay. Anyway, after... I don't know if you guys like this kind of analysis, but it's my real analysis. Like, I gotta do this. This is my chess work. All right, so... he went there. In the game, I go rook a to e8. I guess this is dubious according to the computer because queen f5 was much stronger. I just didn't see that at all. This decoy slash endgame. So he goes e4, and now we're both getting very low on time. So I go knight to b7. I guess it's a blunder because I have something good here. What do I have? You know what I probably have? Do I have queen f5 again? Queen f5 looks strong. Attacking the bishop. If they push the pawn, we win this. If they push this pawn, we can take. I'm happy to trade queens now because we want a rook. Winning rooks is good if you're taking notes. And also we're going to win that. Like, yeah, this is just over. So queen f5 wins. Yeah, and Michael Jolson, I believe, I'm not sure. I think it was in this position. He mentioned queen f5 here. So I didn't do that. I was in time pressure. So I just was like, look, my knight comes to b7 with tempo. I mean, it doesn't look like the worst move ever. And I thought he'll have to trade. But he didn't. He played rook to f4. So, yeah, and then I come up with this, which I thought was kind of cool. Just a counterattack. Like, you want my queen, I take your queen, you know? So he does take, and I take, and then he took my pawn. So he thought he tricked me. He kind of did. So then I go rook e4, or rook e5. Now, rook e5, like, okay, it's dubious. I get it. When you're in time pressure, though, a move like rook e5 is, like, pretty much correct. Because I saw this variation. It's just a two-mover or whatever, but I saw this. I attack bishop. He pushes pawn. And then I take bishop anyway. He takes, and I win the rook. And this is exactly what happened. And the sad thing for Scotty is that, and this is something he will need to work on, is the fact that he had 20 minutes on his clock, okay, out of 30. And I had, like, I don't know, 1 minute, 30 seconds, something like that. I was in time pressure, big time pressure. So he was trying to flag me. That's really what it comes down to. And that's the wrong approach. You still got to play good chess. So after this, I mean, maybe he just missed this, you know. I mean, clearly that's true. But with 20 minutes on your clock, you can't miss this. That's my point. Like, if he had 30 seconds and he's playing quickly and misses this, okay, fine. But 20 minutes on your clock, why is he trying to flag me? He should try to find good moves. He's got tons of time, and I have to sit there and stare at the board in panic mode because I got to move fast, right? So I don't think there's any excuse for this move. And I say that with all the love in the world. But, all right, then in this position, trust me, I could lose this, but I didn't. I got down to, like, just a few seconds, but I did manage to convert this endgame. Unfortunately, I can't really show it because we didn't notate, but I went on to win the game, up material. So let's do a very quick recap of this game. So what is the story of this game? The story is he's playing the English, and he decided to go with this a3 move. I don't think I'll see it again. It's not a good move. Forces me to do what I want. And then he took a huge center in the opening, like a huge center. And I thought I was worse / much worse during the game. Turns out I always had counterattacking chances. White was a bit overextended and a bit behind in development. So this move is fine. I think the way I played up until this point was just great. I was totally fine with all of this. This move is a little bit routine. I should just go f5 right away. So I got to learn how to break earlier with f5. I didn't really quite understand that. Then I came up with this interesting plan of attacking the knight with a knight on h4. Turns out it's not so bad. So this kind of works out. Now the question is, will the g-file benefit him or not? Turns out it doesn't. He snuck that move in on me. I snuck an intermezzo on him, and knight g6. So knight f5 was better there. And now it's all about solving the problem with my knight, which he kind of helped me with. He shouldn't have did that. And then the real story at the end, I guess, is that I missed wins with queen f5 earlier. Oh, I'm in a line somehow. I don't know how that happened. But really what happened is that I was in time pressure and I made a move that I thought would trick him, and it did. And that's hope chess for you. Sometimes hope chess works in time pressure, at least. But I can't be proud of how I won this game, but I am proud of how I played. I think I played basically, I counterattacked the center like I was supposed to. I could have done it earlier, but I stayed active and I developed rapidly, and yeah, and I'm quite pleased with the result, of course. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.